Testing.
Hello?
Testing.
Hello.
Hello?
Test, test, test.
I've got
test,
two.
Test,
It was great at the deliberative.
test. It was
Phenomenal.
good. I did not go back and watch it.
I think.
Sorry.
Okay,
So we're good?
soft for a while,
All right. I'm gonna call
soft
the
opening.
school board meeting Thursday, not Thursday, February
Nope,
6th.
No.
not the date on the
Monday,
agenda.
February 17th. Calling to order. We have,
We do not,
Pledge.
because we delayed them twice, so I just said, let's come, let's do March.
so we're just gonna have the
We'll
pledge.
just have the
Just do
pledge.
Pledge allegiance to
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I have the proof of posting, and then we have Rebecca for our Pinkerton update. What's going on?
A lot of this stuff has already happened, but I'll just gloss over some of it. So we had the pep rally and our winter dance, and then we had an event that's hosted by the freshman class, which is called Milli Vanilli. It's lip sync, so everyone should go next year. It's really fun. There was the National Tech Honor Society induction. We've got break next week, which is really exciting. We had random act of kindness week beforehand, after dance and stuff like that. And then we have a concert at the Stockbridge on March 6th. The musical All Shook Up is the weekend of the 21st to the 23rd. And then we've got Mr. Pinkerton happening in the spring, and then the new building is working great.
It's open?
It is
Yes.
open.
You having classes?
Yes.
Awesome.
I've got many classes in there.
Thank you very much. Next is minutes from the last three meetings. Anybody want to start with January 2nd?
Move to approve the meeting minutes from January 2nd.
All those in favor?
Aye.
January 22nd, refresh my memory. Oh, that was just a quick. Yes.
Yes, we had to just meet not to approve it.
Okay. Do we have a motion for the approval of the meeting minutes from January 22nd?
I'll make that.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then the meeting on the 24th of January, I believe was to just take a quick vote.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from Friday, January 24th.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain. We have our first opportunity for the public to address the board. If you're gonna speak, we just need your name and address.
Carol Batchelder. Is that a microphone? Carol Batchelder, 531 Raymond Road. I just had a question addressing the pickup line. There's been a few comments online and via text, things like that from parents. Concerned about some days it works very well, some days the line is backed up into the road. We're not sure legally where we're supposed to be parking. Sometimes people wait in the road and that's causing a blockage in the road for people to pass through. Some people are parking over by the fire department and we're not really sure if that's okay. Another thing we'd kind of been considering is there a way to get, I don't know if there's a way to paint a line around the loop of exactly where the cars need to be parked, because some days the line comes straight down the middle of the circle, which does make more traffic in the road. So I don't know if cones or if there's possibility of painting a loop in there would be possible, but I've received lots of messages, so I didn't know what could be done. Or where, if we could direct parents where exactly legally they could be parking their overflow so that we're all on the same page.
Yeah, I can do that in an email and just
Okay.
reinforce to everyone what it's supposed to look like out there. I think some of the days that it's not going so well are the days when it's so cold that we're keeping them all in the gym. And the
Right.
flow just is not nearly as good as it is on a typical day. And we've had a lot of below 20-degree days
Yes.
where we're trying not to send our staff
Oh
or
yeah, it totally
students out
makes
there.
sense. But I know some parents park on the left, waiting to turn left, and then there are some that scoot to the right
Yeah,
of the road.
and I'll
waiting
talk
to
with
turn
Chief,
left.
because he may
So-
have a way that he wants it to
Yeah,
look
that's
out
what
there
we're
when that
wondering,
happens.
so,
Yeah,
yeah.
I can do that and clarify.
Is that it? Well, we'll have another opportunity at the end. Any questions on the superintendent's report?
I just have one update to the report. Last Wednesday night, we held the second meeting this year of the Start Time Committee at Pinkerton. We spent some time verifying our current pickup times and drop-off times for students for all the sending districts. After a lengthy discussion, the committee agreed, because they were looking at two start times. One was a 7:45 start time, and the second option was a 9 a.m. start time. The subcommittee agreed to drop the 9 a.m. Option, and right now, they're looking at the 7:45 a.m. start time. We also spent, and we talked about this, I believe in November we met, I reported back in December. They would like to know if districts would be interested in surveying their parents regarding the start time itself. I reiterated Candia's position that we're not interested, and they know this wouldn't be for next year, it would be for the following year. 26-7. And I said we had no interest back in December to send out a survey, but I certainly would ask again. So that was one outcome of the meeting. The second outcome, which may prove or worthy of looking into, is to join a busing consortium with all the districts to see if we could save money if we all went in and basically ran our own transportation as a consortium. And I said
Like
that,
even elementary?
yeah, for everything, yeah,
For all the sending districts?
yeah,
So we would do elementary and high school?
yeah.
And Derry would
What
manage.
would the voting
No.
way be like?
Well, they wanted to know if there'd be interest to look into it. We
What would they
don't,
use
there is
first?
no clear picture as to what it would be. The goal is that it would, I'm not so sure, but I don't want to rule it out. The belief is that we'd be able to possibly save, districts would possibly be able to save because we need fewer buses.
If there could be an economy of scale realized across all of the contracts and across all of the communities, right?
Yeah,
Why wouldn't you explore it at least?
that's,
Yeah.
that was my position. I also said I'm skeptical of that because you have X number of kids that need buses.
You get fewer buses.
Yeah, well, that's where I
It's
get
not
stuck.
tracking for me, how you would
Wasn't-
end up with fewer buses.
There's this misconception that, and I'll use Hooksett. Hooksett buses heading to Pinkerton could stop either in Candia or Auburn and pick up extra kids. And somehow that's gonna save buses. And I've said to them, I said, you don't understand the routes. I said, they're just not on the bypass going down to Pinkerton. But I said, if it's a possibility to save money, maybe we should look at it.
They
That
use
would
the
make
same
them-
company we do?
Yeah,
Oh, they do?
everybody uses First Student.
Oh,
If
alright.
they did that, that would make the routes longer though, and the kids would have to be at the bus stop earlier potentially.
Negate the
It's not, I mean, it's
later
pretty
stuff.
early as it is already, I mean,
If I'm skeptical, but I don't think it's worth looking into to see if there's any.
so when they
value.
say consortium, does that mean we would still contract out like we do now, or we would own our own buses and employ people as a,
I got the idea that we would own everything, but I don't think that's been, I mean, in my mind, but again, it's very,
So a consortium to form a legal entity that is now in the business of being a transportation company?
something like that.
I mean, if they wanna propose an offer, we
See what
look
they
at
have
it,
to, we'll see what they say, would be,
yeah.
see what it would look like.
It seems like a pretty big undertaking.
I agree,
Yeah,
I agree.
so I haven't been able to look at that Google Doc from the meeting. I'm
Mhm.
sorry I wasn't there.
That's okay.
I was the quorum member for the budget committee meeting.
The Google Doc has, it would, if the 7:45, if I'm reading it correctly, they're proposing it would be a 9 o'clock start here, and kids wouldn't get picked up until 4.
That sounds about right, because what's their current start time?
7:15.
Yeah.
7:15.
So that's a half hour later for
Right.
us. Yeah, so our kids wouldn't get here till 9, and they wouldn't leave until 4, so they'd be
And-
getting off the bus in the dark in the winter.
And I keep reiterating that to them.
That's not
I
happening.
said, I don't care what, any variation, whether
The
it's
9 o'clock start would have been better.
whether
Yeah.
it's Candia or Hooksett or Auburn, you get kids, either little ones or middle schoolers, either really early in the morning getting picked up in the dark or getting dropped off. It doesn't change. They're being very persistent on it, and I reiterated the question that Auburn brought up before to say, if a district doesn't want to do it, does that mean it's done? And their interpretation is a little different than what the people from Auburn who were at a meeting a year or so ago where it was allegedly discussed. Pinkerton's position is a consensus of the group, whereas Auburn believes that it was no. If someone says no, no means no. So,
We have a contract with them.
Right.
So if they decide to do something after that client, like all the other sending districts were to say we want to do this consortium, well, I think we have language about transportation in our contract.
we're
We're
talking
trying to start time now.
start time.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the buses.
No, sorry, that's start time.
Did anybody bring up the fact that a half an hour is not gonna make any difference in the,
Other than messing everything up.
it's not gonna make a difference in the high school education?
It,
Half an hour doesn't matter.
it doesn't make sense to me to want to do it that way, but again, Auburn's a no-go on it at all, and I don't think Hooksett has any. I'm gonna be
thought the
talking
last
to them
time-
about it tomorrow
I
night.
thought the last time we discussed this at one of our last meetings, it was pretty much uniform across the board, that most districts were not like anxious to even try it, right? Like,
For SAU 15, that's correct.
I thought
you've
all
got
the other ones, Chester,
Hampstead,
Hampstead,
Fremont.
all. was
Hampstead, I think is up in
Derry.
the air. I think Derry, they're kind of non-committal on it. But we're, outside of Derry, the SAU 15 is the biggest group. So if we're not interested, I don't know how much traction they can have.
And Hooksett is,
Well, I'm gonna talk to them
Reason.
tomorrow night about it. Wayne's big on it, but,
On the 7:45?
yeah. I don't think the other board members are, but we'll find out tomorrow night.
It just doesn't make much sense to cost such a disruption for half an hour. The kids are still gonna have to get up early. It's not gonna help, but anyway.
So no on the survey?
I mean, but, so you send out a survey to parents, are they gonna really understand the consequences and such?
Which parents?
Our parents.
I would
Our
think all of
current
them.
K-8 parents?
It was
Or
all-
high school parents?
No, our parents. The high school parents have already been surveyed.
So, as part of that survey, would we be letting them know what the impact would be on K-8 busing?
Yeah, we would tell them what the start time would be and what the pickup time would be.
Seems like a big undertaking to explain it and then propose the questions, but
Oh, they have the survey.
Is the committee Okay.
Well, I'm sure Pinkerton created the survey.
So, yeah.
And I said it
Can
was
we
fair.
view the survey before deciding whether
Sure.
it feels reasonable to send?
Yeah. Should we?
Yeah, I can send it.
Is it
I'm on the board,
customizable?
just my 2 cents.
Was Dr. Truby there?
Yes. She's in favor of it.
She's in favor of it?
Yeah.
Who is?
Not the 9 a.m.?
Huh?
Dr. Truby.
She was there.
She's a pediatrician and she was really for the start time change.
We still have
That's
time
why we-
because they're
okay.
meeting on April 23rd, so I can send you the survey and we can discuss it at our next meeting.
Okay. All right.
No worries.
I had
Sorry.
a question about your report, Solomon. So the last thing here is the assistant superintendent, assistant principal. When are they gonna make a decision on that?
They made the decision
Oh, they
already,
did?
yes, and she was a finalist, but she did not get the award.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's a bummer.
yeah.
But yay, being a finalist.
Right?
That's
Right.
huge.
That's
Big
quite
deal.
an honor.
Right.
Big deal.
And Jason did such a good job presenting that
He did.
Yeah.
budget meeting.
Yeah, you did.
Do you think if you hadn't, because it's the same school like that?
No, I mean, they gave her, reasoning for the other finalists' strengths,
Yeah.
over her. I don't think it had anything to do with that, but. So those are things that, we'll work on for another time.
Shining such a bright light on our school.
Well, speaking of that, since we're speaking of that, we've made it to the next step in the K-8 New Hampshire School of
good.
Excellence, and we have a site visit coming on March 26th.
Wow.
Nice.
So yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. So next step, it looks
Was it
very
the-
different than last time.
Well, I
This
was
is
gonna
like
say, was this a different group of people?
only one different person.
Yeah.
But what they have us doing for the site visit is very different. Like
Much
we
different.
really have to showcase student
Student.
learning
Okay.
and yeah, I think we'll do well.
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay. Any questions on the administrators' reports?
It's nice to see Sean McDonald show up once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having coffee that morning, and I'm like, hey, that's Candia on Channel 9. And I said, and there's Becky.
That was a great night.
So much
It
fun.
looked like an amazing night.
It was so fun.
So
Yeah,
bummed
it
I
really
didn't
was,
get to go.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's our wellness committee up and rolling and doing
Yeah.
great things.
Okay, standing committees, do we have any updates? We had a building meeting, right?
We did have a
Yep.
facilities meeting.
Yes,
Okay. Are we compiling a list?
of,
What's needing to be done in order and all that, so that when we come to our May meeting, we can
yeah.
take a peek?
I think we were looking at some different vendors, putting out
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
some bids to different vendors.
Focused on heat.
I do have another one. I'll talk, I can
Okay.
talk to you offline on that
Yep.
because it's an offer that they'll work with us. And you'd actually get emails if the boilers go out.
Oh,
And it
nice.
would go more than just one person.
Anybody want my standing committee update?
Sure.
Or, we can talk about it under budget, I suppose.
Yeah, we could do.
So next, I guess, is the old business, so the 24-25 budget. What?
Just
Oh, okay.
keenly interested.
I just wanted to thank everybody that helped me, came to the meeting, sent me endless emails and answered endless questions. I think Jason did an awesome job. The support was awesome. I was a little worried about Saturday morning sports, but we did it. We had parents at the meeting, you guys, awesome.
Yeah, it was good, it was good to have the parents at the meeting
Yes,
because they
it
spoke up
was.
in
Yeah.
strong support of the school.
So that's all my update. And yes, that'll be it. Anybody, any other budget? No. Goals, anybody? I don't have any questions. Yes, we need to do that. Scholarship.
Yeah, we found that there are 2 scholarships and trust funds
Oh,
for graduating seniors. So,
okay. For future agenda.
yep,
I'm
Okay.
meeting with the Candia Dollars for Scholars people, right after vacation. Is that something I should talk with them about as well?
Well, one of my
Or do you
goals-
want to keep it completely separate from that?
One of my goals was I wanted the school board to have a
A scholarship.
scholarship. So, but then I remembered we wanted to have it like, because it would be a school board sponsored, maybe somebody going into the education.
Yeah, that's right. I remember you
Track.
talking about this now that you say
And then
this.
when we had a meeting, I looked at it and I was like, why did I do that? But yes, that's why. So probably put it on a future agenda.
Okay.
Yeah, the, who does the Dollars for Scholars? The,
Colette,
is it a Rotary Club? No, Women's
No,
Club?
it's Rockingham.
I was
It's
just
the Masons.
emailing with her again
It
today.
is? Because the Women's Club does one for, this was a female student going into certain things.
women's engineering, something like
Yeah,
that.
because I just sent out their flyer today. Colleen Bolton, that's who it is.
Yeah, not a lot of people have applied, I guess. Is that?
Yeah, it just says she's the chair of Candia Dollars for Scholars.
Okay.
So. I sent it to any high school seniors that I had their email addresses for and sent it out to the families here and put it on our website.
Awesome. Heating update?
Yes, we had our facilities meeting a couple weeks back. The most recent issue that we had with our heating system, valves left open, Becky? Was
It's been a while since we talked about it.
It's valve.
There was a valve that was
Open.
and something else in addition to that.
The ball valve?
No, I think it was a sensor that wasn't picking it up. They had to change out a sensor.
There were 2 things that our people wouldn't have any contact with.
Yeah.
And when they came in, they corrected it, but again, no, it didn't get reported to, the problem is the reporting. When the heat goes down, is that we're not getting called, Lynn's not getting called right away, so we can then do whatever we have to do. We're still trying to find another vendor to change over to, so that we have a system where if it fails and the sensors go off, we get instant notification.
How long did it take this last time?
Linda tried the help desk, couldn't get through to the help desk.
Well, no, how long between the time it failed and we knew about it?
It was discovered
It was
that
discovered that morning,
the next morning.
So we don't know when
And
it
gone
failed,
off
it was
sometime in
sometime
the
during the
night.
night.
sometime in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
That's the problem, if you know, if at least, because we had to do it on the fly to unfortunately cancel school right,
Right.
without any notice.
This one was too.
There's, I mean, they can monitor anything.
Right,
nowadays,
and it's,
like-
well, and that's just it, and supposedly it is monitored, but this is the second time now that we have not been notified, that there's been a failure in that communication. So that's why we're looking for new vendors. In addition to, it seems that when it was serviced, there was something that
Didn't
was
service
switched
it
off, or
correctly.
some valve, or something was done to it that should not have been. There was something that was switched off or on that shouldn't have been.
Which
That also
shut it down, which shut
led
down the
to it
furnace.
shutting down when it shouldn't have.
So if it fails at like 2 o'clock in the morning, we get a
It
notification.
should
Is
be a
it
phone
actually
call.
possible
Yeah,
that
it's
somebody will
supposed to
be
be a
in
phone
here
call.
before the start of school to fix it?
Could be, if you know about it soon enough
Yep,
and you
yeah,
get in
it's
touch
a
with
24-hour
someone.
service.
24 hours?
Yeah, yeah. And typically, for anything else, if there's an alarm in the building, Linda gets a call. If she doesn't answer, I get a call. If I don't answer, I don't remember where it goes next.
Bill.
It might go to Bill. I don't remember.
That's like the
you know,
fires
but
in the-
usually
I
I
haven't got one
answer.
yet,
So.
but
So if we have a company that does 24-hour service, why wouldn't it like just alarm them and us at the same time so that we don't even have to call them? So like, we get a notification just so we know, but it also notifies at the same time whoever provides our service, so they know and they can get going on it earlier than us having to call them, right?
That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to rectify that with another company, I think. I think Linda's looking into other vendors.
Yeah, she has at least 2 others, and it sounds like there's a third now that you have that she could look at.
Is there anything that the current vendor would do to make us whole, given the failure?
I think they already tried to do that, didn't they, after the last time?
They don't give any credits or anything. They apologize, and but if it was, I just use my own personal experience. If my car keeps breaking down and I bring it into a mechanic for the same thing over and over again and it doesn't get fixed, I find a new mechanic.
Right,
It's
exactly.
just,
Yeah.
it's time we move on from them.
It is.
It's gonna be a little investment, I'm sure. Next is the school choice discussion. Just now that we're online, everybody can hear us. So we all discussed a few months ago that we're in a 35-year contract with Pinkerton. Is that- It's like a 35-year contract, and if you want to tell them, you know, we're not renewing, it's a 15-year notice, and we're only allowed 5%?
5% of our population, 95% of our high school age students have to attend Pinkerton.
And if they wish to attend a different high school, it would be a hardship of sorts, and they have to present their case to the
That's-
board.
They would
Correct.
present it to me, but
Present
yeah,
it to Bill, and then Bill would
make the determination.
make the determination. So I did have a chance to speak with Nicole on that, so she knows, and now everybody watching knows. So. But you never know, things are changing on the daily.
Quickly.
Because, I mean, the governor did, last week, a part of that funds was opening school choice, the state dollars.
Yeah.
So we don't still know what that means, but
No, that's to be determined what the actual costs will be.
I think there's only 11 million that was set aside for it.
Yeah, it's not a lot. It's
yeah,
not
but
it
like right
wasn't-
now, to get your stipend, or I don't know,
stipend.
your stipend per student, to have that go from the town to another school, you have to fill out an application, it's based on
To
finances.
the state and all
Yeah,
that, right.
it's-
And then there's
it's-
only an $11 million that was put
Yeah,
aside for it.
so it's not easy to get, and they make it sound like anybody can just get it, and they can't, so.
Would it prompt recontracting if they make significant DOE level administrative changes?
Who knows?
Doesn't that
I
force the
mean,
contract
Pinkerton
to
would
have to open?
comply.
Yeah, I would think that it would.
Yes,
Yeah, if there's a material change or a
it's
statutory
either
change.
that or more likely probably changes in the courts over public-private schools questions would
Okay.
also trigger a reopening.
Okay.
But it's changing by the day.
Right, yeah, I know it's evolving very quickly.
Next is new business financial expenditure report and summary. Did anybody have any questions on that?
Stephanie, can I ask you to?
Oh, yeah.
Bill, I don't know if you remember, we were gonna talk about field trips, see if they could add field trips.
Oh,
to
yes,
the
I'm
agenda.
sorry, I do have, that's why I
Oh, as
have
new
it, I
business?
forgot why I had it on my
That's
note.
okay. Is there any chance we can add that to your new business to discuss?
You have to make a motion, right?
Make a motion that we add a field trip discussion to the new business.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And while you're adding agenda items, could we also add CEA MOU?
That would be under
New business.
new business.
Yep.
I make a motion that we add CEA MOU to the agenda.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So for field trips, we have, with a default budget, we have $500 for field trips. I know in the past, the board has not wanted families to spend more than $8 on a field trip. And with the increase in costs of field trips, that hasn't increased since I've been here, the $8.
And with having a default budget and only having $500 in that line, I'm wondering if the board would consider raising that amount that families pay to potentially $15 per field trip, knowing that if there are families who need scholarship, that is not a problem. We will scholarship them for a field trip.
Do you know what we would need to keep it at $8 with 500?
Oh gosh, I don't. Like I just have one field trip here, even for sixth grade, that's looking for approval. That would already be $238 out of that $500 line, and that's just one grade level, one field trip.
Because we could vote to use some funds for that. Correct?
You could just run the line over. If you want, if you
At the
didn't-
moment, we're in February, we look good-ish.
If you don't want to change, if you
Yeah,
don't
I
want to
can take that,
change
isn't it?
the
Yeah.
amount that Becky's recommending, we would just, the line would run red.
Should
Would
we-
go over it.
Approve a number to not go over running in the red. It's like add it to March's meeting agenda.
I would, let us come back with a number
I was gonna
for
say, I can
March.
try to get a better idea of what the field trips will cost, that,
So we'll give you
people
a
are
total, we'll
looking
try to
into.
give an estimated
I don't
total
have
cost.
list.
sometimes the cost that we had last year, like, doesn't apply to this year, because everything
Can I see
has
your
changed.
budget book real quick?
Because we'll do an estimated cost for the remaining field trips. And then we can make a determination that way.
Do you have last year's? Ah, here we go. Never
Is
mind.
this for this year's?
That's for this year.
Till-
This year,
Till
From now
June
until June.
31st?
Yes.
And, okay, so
Mine is
you're suggesting that we may have to increase?
That's this line.
say it
So
again, sorry.
we may have to do the increase for the rest of this year?
That's what I was proposing, yeah, was, well, really to do the increase
Should be
moving forward,
Mhm.
next year, I don't
For
know
next year, yeah.
what we'll have,
How many,
have default budget or, which would make it remain at 500.
how many field trips are left? We're planning.
Most grade levels, I think we've only had one actually do a field trip so far.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, principal, I don't see field
Yeah,
trip.
generally, it's,
Where field trips put?
It's not principal services, it's in, regular ed.
It's only fair.
Yep, it is, it's the one that's only 500, if you look for the line.
This one here.
Yep, that's it, other professional services, yep.
What did we spend last year? Sorry, I didn't.
No.
Well, we got level funded, well, this year's level funded.
Do you need?
So you want to know for the previous, not the current year, we're in for the previous year?
Yeah,
what
the
it is?
23, 24.
I don't know the
Alright,
budget
let me,
book.
I can run I can see if I can link up here and run a report,
Alright.
we can see.
Because then we can say, spend, yeah,
Yep.
whatever.
Well, and we covered some of it out of like principal's account and student activities and things like that, in years past too, to try to cushion some of that so that it wasn't all coming out of the budget.
Do you know what we asked for last year, in the proposed, for that line item?
In the proposed, yeah, I increased that by, I think it was like another 1,200. I
put mine
definitely
far, far
increased
away.
it quite a bit.
I almost burned mine, no, I'm just kidding.
I meant to grab my desk.
Okay, so just put a little check.
Put a
on
pin in that. Well,
Put a
and
pin
we
in
don't
that.
need to approve it, you don't need to finalize it this time
But I
either,
don't
if you
wanna
wanna bring it,
change.
I mean, we're meeting in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
So
true.
if you wanna do it at the March 6th meeting, that's fine, and we can bring more solid numbers back to you.
Yeah. And did you put it in other professional services last year for field trips too?
Yeah, in the same place.
So you
Manifest.
moved to answer
Yeah.
This is the CEA.
Becky, it looks like 500
Oh,
for
sorry.
this time,
It is for this time, yeah, cause that's,
going for next year.
We also
Yeah.
have to discuss,
cause it was cut.
just as a board real quick, your review.
Mhm.
Does it have to be on the agenda or can it just, it's a non-public, right?
Yeah. You just.
Go into
you just
non-public.
go into non-public.
Okay.
So with the are we on the manifest?
Mhm.
All right, so with the version, the copy that's in your decks, I've had some time with the snow to make some updates. And so currently now, after meeting with Stacy, the available balance is, went from the 166,587 in your report
to 294, 682, 67.
Thank you.
Trying to not do the happy dance.
Yeah, and so this is also just the point
It's
in
only
time.
February.
I know.
Voice
We
of-
also-
Voice of reason.
I know, but we also have, yeah.
So in that, we did have some lines of overage, and I can send this out to you all, as you can see. And then
That would
we've
be
also taken some down. But I'll continue to work closely with everybody in the schools who have budgetary responsibilities to manage POs and to manage the expenses.
That's awesome. All right, a manifest approval. What do we have?
I make a motion to accept the manifest for January 3rd through February 17th of '25 in the amount of $1,601,953.22.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And of course, I skipped ahead even though somebody mentioned it again. It's been a long Monday. The CEA MOU.
Yes, I've met with Pam and Amy, and we've talked about, they brought to my attention that they would like, for this year only, and let me pass it out, and you guys can see it. It's, CEA is requesting just for this year that the last day of students, the 180th day for students would be the last day for teachers. I got that right, guys?
It's for next year.
For the remainder of this contract.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, for the remainder of I think, that's right, it's a year.
Yeah.
That's right, we have to negotiate this summer.
Right, it's coming
So-
up.
Sorry about that. It's for the length of the remainder of the contract, which is this year and for next year. I would recommend the board consider approving.
I mean, those days, like,
The board, since I've been here, Becky, have they approved?
I think it all started at COVID.
last year, well, maybe with COVID.
I think is when it started that, don't.
Right,
call
after
those extra
COVID,
days.
we
Yeah,
haven't been
we
doing it.
haven't had PD days at the end of the school year since then.
I have no problem with it. Anybody want to discuss it?
We approved something like this
Last year, right.
They
You've done it on your own.
Right, you've done it on your own
I think what they're
individually.
doing is
I'm
they're
having a
looking
little
to be able to
deja
plan
vu
ahead.
Right, and this
You know
just,
that
right,
this
and
is
this
how it
just
would be.
this just makes it,
Yeah.
so we don't have to at least come back the following summer and ask again.
Yeah.
And they still have those instructional days.
Yep, no,
that
they
are
still have
above
the
and
6,
beyond, and
they still have
just
the
so
6
people
days,
know.
those
The
are all.
6 professional
those are
development
still
days,
there.
yep,
Yep.
and the half-day PD days.
Yeah, those aren't, they're still there.
I'll make a motion to accept the proposal.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Collect signatures tonight?
You want us all, or what do you want?
I just need Steph's signature. Please.
Okay,
You can-
I'll take one too. Just school board, right?
Yeah. There's the chair.
Okey dokey.
Might as well make this official.
Dun, dun, dun. Here she comes.
You-
Gotta go black.
Whatever. Don't forget to spell your name correctly.
Yeah, how many snow days do we have so far?
2.
2? And then half
Only
day
had
count,
2?
or 2 hours
Seems
delay
like
count.
We've had 2-hour delays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Is it a
they-
delay?
a delay
It's
is,
never on NUR anymore.
yeah, it is.
It's
Auburn
under
is.
the school.
Henry
Henry W. Moore,
It's
don't
under-
look for Candia.
All right, I'm
Look
looking
for
for
Henry.
see, I'm like,
Henry.
what is it wrong?
It's how they have us
It's under the
listed now.
school.
Gotcha.
That's how we
not
have
the
to
district.
record it.
Yeah.
But it does not count, a delay does not count towards the school.
Right,
Right, yeah.
so,
I had a parent message me last night when I put it out saying, how is it that it's not on the ticker on the TV? I said, I'm just quicker than the ticker.
ticker, that goes back to the 60s. The ticker.
Because it was this kindergartner
The old AP
watching for it.
feeds.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
All right, Next is policies. Dana.
Alright, so, policies, JICE, student publications, JIE, pregnant students, JM, student awards, and LK, legislative rep. We decided those are unnecessary. We don't really need them, so recommend eliminating them. Does anybody have any questions on those? No? Alright, and then the remaining policies, we just made language changes, so there's JQ, students, fees, fines, and charges, KEB, public complaints about personnel, KI, is that I, visitors to the school, and LDA, student teaching. Does anybody have any questions on those?
I did not.
No? Alright, so I move that we eliminate policies JICE, student publications, JIE, pregnant students, JM, student awards, LK, and LK, legislative rep.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And then I move that we adopt as a first read policies JQ, student fees, fines, and charges, KEB, public complaints about personnel, KI, visitors to the schools, and LDA, student teaching.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And then, oh, last opportunity for the public to address the board. Anybody for public? We good? Going once, public? So, and we do have to go into non-public for, superintendent review. Under RSA 91-A, 3,
Section 2A.
section 2A. Oh,
Mark seconded. Was you were making a
who made the
motion?
motion?
I made motion.
Okay.
Yep, and Mark seconded.
Okay,
All
Mark?
those-
Yep.
Christina,
Yes.
Dana,
Yes.
Meredith,
Yes.
and Steph.
Yes.
Thank you.
You guys are all set.
Okay, well,
And then we need to end the technology fee, right?
Do you know?
Yes.
For non-public?
Yes.
That one's on.
Mark, can you hit that one or?
I got number one on.
Are we good? I hear us. Okay, so the next is informational upcoming agenda items. I have to discuss trust scholarships.
Yes.
Can we-
I'll save a board scholarship for another day. Project Safeguard,
What's that?
something Becky requested. Raymond is gonna come do a presentation to show us. They invited us to join their program.
The school board or this?
It would be for students. It's a
Oh.
For
presentation.
students.
It's to present what they would show us students, to you guys.
What is it? It's
Project Safeguard.
what is that though?
It's a, God,
You'll find out.
I'm sorry, I'm still coming off the flu.
Yeah.
It's a project where it's for seventh graders and it works with kids on social, bullying and things like that, social media and things like that.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly.
And then to discuss the field trip
Yeah.
financial
Yep, we'll have the estimated cost.
estimated cost. And that's all I
Survey.
have.
Survey.
Oh, the survey.
The parent.
review the survey.
Review the survey that Pinkerton has for the start time.
Yes.
And that'll be for the Henry Moore school parents to get. Because the Pinkerton parents already got a survey.
Well, yes, so it's there, they have a survey. We can take a look at it and decide if we want to send it or create our own.
You want to look at it, say, we don't want to pursue it, or we do want to pursue it.
It'll be
It's-
interesting, because some parents are already complaining about our current start time in this school and their work schedule.
They would like
so-
it to be
Right.
earlier.
Yep,
So would I. Whatever.
I mean, I'm not too crazy that my kid spends an hour on the bus, because we're first pickup.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets picked up at 7:30.
Mark, do you think there might be an update on the heating service vendor for the next meeting?
That depends on, for Linda.
Yeah.
I gave her a couple names to call to get, because she was just staying within people she's dealt with in the past. And to me, some of those places have been failing the school. So I gave her a couple names to call and reach out to, and they would also do monitoring.
Yeah.
And then someone else reached out to me recently, so I will forward that to Becky so that she can talk with that person, because they're saying that they could probably come in, set something up very inexpensive, that if something does go down for monitoring, people will get emails to them, to different people, and it's more than just one. It could be 6 people that'll get an email, boiler went down or something like that. We just don't wanna have these boilers going down like that. In the past year, it's 3 times. I mean, so we need to do something different.
Well, if there is an update, can we just
Yep.
add it to, like, if we know about it a couple of days ahead?
I mean, that's it.
Can I say one last
Yes.
thing? Henry Moore School, their robotics team, they have 3 robotics teams. They made it to states, which was supposed to be this past weekend, yesterday, but it's been moved to March 9th.
Oh, cool.
That's great.
It is Manchester Community College.
Nice.
The
that's
VEX?
Interesting.
Yep, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. They have 3 teams,
That's
so.
great.
Excellent.
Don't they
I
go
love
to the nationals every year, or they were for like,
They were for a little, for a
Yeah,
while.
we
you
had,
know, there was a couple of years in a row
Sandra.
where they were going.
oh, the Kronks. when
Yes.
they were here.
All right, do you need a motion? I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.